How's it going, everybody? Poser Mobile here, bringing you some absolute bangers that are all on sale on the PlayStation Store for the Critics' Choice sale that runs through February 25th. As usual, I've scoured this sale for all the full games, game bundles, and premium editions that are at the lowest price they've been in recent history, and are at least a 70 on OpenCritic or Game Rankings. So if that sounds like the kind of video you want to see, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my daily coverage of every sale that Sony puts out. I'm trying to get to 25k by the end of the year, so every bit helps. Alright, that's enough yapping for me, let's get into the video. For $4.99, What Remains of Edith Finch is a narrative-focused first-person adventure where you return to the towering, maze-like Finch house to uncover the intimate stories behind each family member's final day and gradually unravel their unforgettable legacy. You'll move through shifting vignettes that mix clever mechanics, striking visual transitions, and rich environmental details as you inhabit different Finches across eras and emotional tones. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Mortal Kombat 11 is a fast-paced fighting game where you step into the arena with a massive roster of returning legends and new warriors as time itself unravels in an epic clash against Kronika. You'll customize each character with detailed variations, skins, and abilities, then dive into tense, combo-heavy battles that blend crisp mechanics, cinematic presentation, and bone-crunching X-ray attacks that make every hit feel devastating. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Rayman Legends is a precision platforming adventure where Rayman, Glowbox, and the gang leap back into action to stop a growing horde of twisted nightmares overrunning the Glade of Dreams. You'll sprint across rhythm-based levels, chain acrobatic moves through hand-drawn stages, and tackle inventive challenges that mix tight platforming, environmental puzzles, and frantic cooperative chaos into one endlessly creative package. It's a 90 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Dragon's Crown Pro is a hand-painted 2D action RPG that brings Vanillaware's stunning fantasy world of Hydaelyn to life with gorgeous art, orchestral music, and exhilarating side-scrolling combat. You'll choose from 6 distinct character classes, each with unique skills, abilities, and equipment, and battle through sprawling, monster-filled dungeons packed with traps and treasure in both solo and cooperative multiplayer. It's an 83 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $4.39, Unravel 2 is a heartfelt puzzle platformer where you create your own Yarny and embark on a cooperative journey of connection, courage, and discovery. You'll traverse beautifully crafted environments, from cold, desolate landscapes to vibrant forests and sunlit shores, solving physics-based puzzles that require creativity and teamwork to overcome obstacles, collect secrets, and unravel the world's mysteries together. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Mortal Kombat XL is the definitive edition of the acclaimed fighting game, combining the main Mortal Kombat X experience with a massive roster of new and returning characters for intense, brutal, and cinematic battles across multiple modes. You'll master fast-paced, cinematic combat with unique abilities, fatalities, and combos, facing off in both single-player modes and online multiplayer against friends or global competitors. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Dishonored Definitive Edition is a stealth action adventure from Arcane Studios, where you play supernatural assassin Corvo Attano, seeking revenge in the plague-ridden city of Dunwall. With flexible combat that blends supernatural abilities, weapons, and gadgets, plus all-included DLC like Dunwall City Trials and story expansions starring Dodd, it offers a complete and highly replayable immersive sim experience. It's an 89 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Resident Evil 4 is the survival horror shooter that revolutionized the genre, remastered in full 1080p with a smoother frame rate, sharper visuals, and all previously released bonus content. Step into the role of Leon S. Kennedy as he travels to a remote European village on a desperate mission to rescue the president's daughter, only to uncover a nightmarish cult infected with a mind-controlling parasite. It's a 96 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4.99, Burnout Paradise Remastered is an open-world driving game where you tear through the streets of Paradise City, performing high-speed stunts, wreaking havoc, and mastering daring crashes at blistering arcade speeds. You'll explore downtown avenues, mountain roads, and the expanded Big Surf Island while competing in races, challenges, and chaotic online multiplayer mayhem with friends or other players worldwide. It's an 88 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Shadow of War is an open-world action RPG where you infiltrate Mordor, build a powerful army, and conquer fortresses while facing the dark, relentless forces of Sauron and his ringwraiths across a vast fantasy landscape. You'll engage in epic battles, recruit followers, and experience the award-winning Nemesis system, which creates unique personal stories, rivalries, and memorable encounters with every enemy and ally you face. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Resident Evil 6 is an action horror thriller that delivers 4 intersecting campaigns, fast-paced combat, and explosive set pieces that push the series in a bold, cinematic, and wildly ambitious new direction. Follow Leon, Chris, Jake, and Ada across outbreaks filled with bioterror threats, shootouts, and tense encounters as each storyline blends gameplay styles, shifting perspectives, and memorable character moments. It's a 71 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Injustice 2 is a story-driven fighting game where DC's greatest heroes and villains clash in brutal, visually stunning combat across fully destructible arenas filled with dynamic stage transitions and powerful environmental attacks throughout the multiverse. You'll collect and equip gear after every battle, customizing and evolving heroes like Batman, Wonder Woman, and The Flash with unique builds that change their look and powers. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Resident Evil 5 brings one of the most popular entries in the survival horror series to PlayStation 4 in full 1080p HD with a smoother frame rate, delivering intense, thrilling action and cooperative gameplay with cinematic flair and updated controls. Play solo or with a friend as Chris Redfield and Shiva Alomar battle bioorganic threats across Africa, uncovering a sinister plot while facing hordes of infected enemies and powerful bosses. It's an 86 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $4.99, The Evil Within is a pure survival horror experience from Shinji Mikami that throws you into a nightmarish world of grotesque creatures, psychological terror, relentless dread, and shifting, unstable realities. With tightly crafted environments, scarce resources that force careful decision-making, terrifying enemy encounters, and a disturbing story blending action with relentless tension, it delivers a punishing and atmospheric descent into madness. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Death's Door is a stylish, top-down action adventure where you play as a crow tasked with reaping souls in a haunting, mysterious world where death no longer naturally occurs. When a soul you're assigned to collect is stolen, you'll embark on a perilous journey through strange lands untouched by time, battling bizarre creatures and unraveling a conspiracy that threatens the fragile balance of life and death itself. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Wolfenstein The New Order is an alternate history first-person shooter set in 1960s Europe, where a ruthless regime uses advanced technology to dominate the globe and only super soldier BJ Blazkowicz can rewrite history. With elite combat tactics, an arsenal of advanced weaponry, resistance missions, and battles against massive mechs and unstoppable super soldiers, it delivers an intense campaign of global-scale warfare. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Resident Evil, the 2002 version, is the survival horror game that defined the genre, now fully remastered in HD with updated visuals, smoother gameplay, and dramatically enhanced sound design for an even more immersive experience. In 1998, a Special Forces team is sent to investigate bizarre murders on the outskirts of Raccoon City, only to be ambushed by bloodthirsty dogs and forced to seek refuge in a sprawling, eerie mansion. It's a 90 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Ys Origin is an action RPG where you play as one of 3 heroes, a mighty warrior, a cunning mage, or an unlockable third character, seeking the missing goddesses within the demon-infested Devil's Tower. You'll battle hordes of enemies using a mix of swordsmanship, magic, and unique character abilities, exploring multiple floors filled with powerful relics, challenging puzzles, and epic bosses that test your reflexes and strategy. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 85 hours to platinum. For $4.49, the Talos Principle Deluxe Edition is a first-person philosophical puzzle game where you play as a sentient AI navigating a mysterious simulation filled with humanity's greatest ruins and enigmatic cathedrals. You'll solve increasingly complex puzzles that challenge logic and spatial reasoning, using a variety of tools while uncovering hidden terminals and optional challenges that gradually reveal the darker, haunting narrative. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Unravel is a puzzle platformer that introduces Yarny, a lovable character made from a single thread of yarn that slowly unravels as you explore the snow-dusted landscapes of northern Scandinavia. Using Yarny's thread to swing from branches, hitch rides on kites, and overcome inventive environmental challenges that test both skill and timing, you'll embark on a heartfelt journey through levels that symbolize the ties that bind loved ones. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is a retro-style action platformer with pixel-perfect controls and intense stage design, where Demon Slayer Zangetsu storms a dark castle to hunt down a powerful demon. You'll swap between multiple playable allies with unique abilities, uncover branching paths through tightly designed stages, and influence difficulty and endings based on who you recruit and how you fight. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4.24, GRIS is an emotionally evocative platformer where players explore a beautifully crafted, atmospheric world free of danger, frustration, or death, guided by delicate visuals, fluid animation, and an elegant original score. Solve light puzzles, navigate graceful platforming sequences, and discover optional skill-based challenges as new areas of GRIS' vibrant, ever-changing world gradually open, revealing more of its quiet, poignant story. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Resident Evil 0 is the chilling prequel that uncovers the events leading up to the iconic mansion incident, setting the stage for the entire Resident Evil saga. You'll alternate between rookie medic Rebecca Chambers and escaped convict Billy Cohen, using each of their abilities to solve intricate puzzles, manage scarce resources, and fight through terrifying biological monstrosities aboard a runaway train and deep within a secret Umbrella facility. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $3.74, Darkest Dungeon is a gothic roguelike turn-based RPG where you recruit and lead a team of flawed heroes through twisted forests, forgotten warrens, and ruined crypts, facing monstrous enemies, famine, disease, and psychological stress. You'll manage your party's fears and afflictions while battling an array of eldritch horrors and a punishing strategic combat system that rewards planning, risk management, and adaptable tactics. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $3.89, Donut County is a physics-based puzzle game where you control an ever-growing hole, swallowing trash, objects, and the quirky residents of a whimsical town to uncover a humorous, surprisingly heartfelt story. You'll explore unique homes, solve inventive puzzles by moving and enlarging the hole, and catapult items to trigger chain reactions, while interacting with adorable characters and uncovering the consequences of your mischief. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4.49, Lost in Random is a gothic fairy tale-inspired action-adventure where fate itself is dictated by the roll of a die, pulling you into a twisted kingdom ruled by a cruel queen and divided into 6 shadowy realms. You follow Aven and her living dice companion Dicey through eerie streets and storybook locations, blending real-time combat with tactical card play and chance-driven dice mechanics as you fight inside shifting board game arenas. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $3.99, The Messenger is a fast-paced, challenging retro action platformer where a young ninja sets out to deliver a sacred scroll after his village is attacked by a relentless demon army threatening his clan's survival. What starts as a straightforward 8-bit adventure quickly evolves into a sprawling, time-traveling epic packed with sharp humor, hidden paths, clever puzzles, and rewarding exploration that keeps you constantly engaged. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Wattam is a physics-based adventure from Katamari creator Keita Takahashi, where you play as the lonely mayor in a dark, forgotten world filled with quirky objects waiting to be reunited and rediscover happiness. You'll explore surreal environments as you befriend over 100 characters, everything from clouds and flowers to toilets and fruit, joining hands, stacking, and exploding with laughter in joyful, unpredictable chaos. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Observation is a sci-fi thriller where you investigate a space station's mysteries through the eyes of the station's artificial intelligence, Sam, as chaos, malfunctions, and hidden dangers unfold around you. You assist Dr. Emma Fisher in uncovering what happened to her crew by controlling cameras, systems, and tools, piecing together intricate clues while navigating a chilling, isolated environment. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4.99, Resident Evil Revelations 2 Deluxe Edition is a survival horror thriller that follows Claire Redfield and Barry Burton through 4 interwoven episodes filled with suspense, grotesque creatures, and chilling environments. You navigate claustrophobic locations, solve puzzles, and fight off relentless enemies while uncovering a dark conspiracy, with each episode revealing more about the characters and their harrowing circumstances. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Slime Rancher is a charming first-person sandbox adventure where you play as Beatrix LeBeau, a plucky young rancher who leaves Earth to start a new life on the distant, colorful, whimsical Far Far Range. You'll collect dozens of adorable slimes, grow crops, and explore vast, untamed landscapes, while upgrading your all-purpose backpack, expanding your ranch, and experimenting with over 150 hybrid slime combinations. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $2.24, Indigo Prophecy is the first groundbreaking interactive drama from Quantic Dream, the creators of Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, where you experience a chilling paranormal thriller set in 1990s New York City. Play both sides of a gripping murder conspiracy as ordinary people are mysteriously possessed to commit shocking crimes, uncovering the dark supernatural forces behind a chilling series of mysterious killings. It's an 85 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Wolfenstein The Old Blood is a standalone prequel to the critically acclaimed first-person action-adventure shooter Wolfenstein The New Order, delivering a thrilling, story-driven, and intense combat experience. Spanning 8 chapters and 2 interconnected stories, it features the hallmarks of machine games: high-octane action, immersive storytelling, cinematic set pieces, and brutal first-person combat. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Resident Evil Revelations is a survival horror classic remastered in full HD, featuring all DLC, enhanced lighting, sharper textures, and new gameplay improvements that make this the definitive version to play. Set between Resident Evil 4 and 5, you'll take on the role of Jill Valentine as she explores a derelict cruise ship drifting through the Mediterranean, searching for Chris Redfield while uncovering a chilling bioterror conspiracy. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap is an action-adventure platformer where you play as Human, cursed into a half-human, half-lizard form, and must explore interconnected lands to find the magical salamander cross to lift the curse. You'll battle exotic dragons and grumpy monsters while transforming into Lizard Man, Mouse Man, and more, each with unique abilities that shape exploration and combat. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3.99, Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishments is a gripping detective adventure where you solve 6 thrilling, intricate cases, from murders to spectacular thefts, sometimes venturing into the fantastical. Decide carefully whether to follow your moral compass or strictly enforce the law, using 14 detection skills to investigate, interrogate, and determine suspects' fates, with consequences that shape your reputation and the world. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $2.49, Risk of Rain is a fast-paced, intense roguelike action game that challenges players to survive increasingly difficult waves of enemies while exploring massive, procedurally generated levels. Play solo or engage in local and online multiplayer with friends and other players from around the world, unlocking 12 unique characters from the commando to the miner and engineer, each with distinct abilities. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4.99, Telling Lies is an investigative thriller with nonlinear storytelling, where you explore a stolen NSA video database to uncover the deeply intertwined lives of 4 people over 2 years, piecing together the truth behind a shocking incident. You'll search for keywords, watch intimate and revealing clips, and interpret perspectives as you carefully assemble the story, with performances from a star-studded cast guiding your investigation. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4.49, Gorogoa is a puzzle adventure where you solve storybook-like challenges by sliding and combining illustrated panels to reveal hidden connections and progress through its dreamlike, resonant narrative. You'll manipulate beautifully detailed artwork to uncover clever visual tricks, shifting perspectives and layering scenes in unexpected ways that turn simple images into intricate, multi-step solutions filled with surprising depth. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Carrion is a reverse horror game where you play as a mysterious, amorphous creature seeking revenge on those who imprisoned you, turning the tables on traditional horror by making you the predator rather than the prey. Stalk, consume, and terrify your captors while growing, mutating, and evolving, unlocking increasingly devastating abilities to wreak havoc and spread fear throughout the sprawling, labyrinthine facility. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Mark of the Ninja Remastered is a razor-sharp 2D stealth adventure where you use silence, precision, and careful planning to infiltrate enemy compounds and escape unseen. You'll stalk through shadowy corridors, scale walls, disable traps, and manipulate guards using tools, noise, and darkness, all while navigating beautifully hand-painted environments brought to life with fluid animation and crisp 4K remastering. It's a 91 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Guacamelee 2 is a colorful dimension-hopping Metroidvania where retired luchador Juan Aguacate steps back into the ring to save the collapsing Mexiverse from a hilariously unhinged multiversal threat. You'll explore a lively world inspired by Mexican folklore as you swap dimensions, string together flashy wrestling combos, and tackle tricky platforming challenges across vibrant towns, eerie swamps, and fiery underworld arenas. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $1.99, SteamWorld Dig 2 is a Metroidvania that plunges you into an underground world brimming with secrets, treasure, and danger. When mysterious earthquakes strike an old trading town, you play as a lone steambot and her unlikely companion, digging through vivid caves, battling shadowy creatures, and uncovering the haunted remains of an ancient electrical threat while upgrading your gear to reach deeper, more perilous areas. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $2.49, Ghost Giant is a heartfelt narrative-driven VR adventure about stepping into young Lewis's life and becoming his invisible guardian in the miniature town of Sandcourt, breaking the fourth wall throughout. You'll physically interact with a handcrafted diorama world, solve tactile environmental puzzles by lifting roofs and moving buildings, and help quirky villagers with hands-on tasks using your giant presence and clever problem-solving skills. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Mortal Shell Enhanced Edition is a punishing action RPG where you navigate a shattered, decaying world, assuming the bodies of fallen warriors to gain their strength while testing your sanity, precision, and resilience. You'll explore haunting ruins, track down hidden sanctums, and adapt to a combat system that rewards patience, awareness, and strategic timing, while every enemy encounter can end in brutal death. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $2.99, The Swords of Ditto, Mormo's Curse is a roguelite action RPG where each new hero embarks on a unique, unforgettable adventure to defeat the evil Mormo and protect a vibrant, whimsical island. You'll explore a colorful overworld, delve into perilous dungeons, and wield the mystical Sword of Ditto while uncovering legendary tales that link each adventure into a heroic legacy filled with unexpected challenges and hidden secrets. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $3.74, Don't Starve is a wilderness survival game with a Tim Burton-inspired art style, where scientist Wilson must endure a strange and hostile world to find his way safely back home. You'll gather resources to craft tools and science machines, manage hunger and sanity through brutal seasonal cycles, and survive deadly creatures like the deer clops and shadow monsters lurking in the Constant's unforgiving darkness. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4.99, Ruiners, a brutal cyberpunk action shooter where a wired sociopath fights to rescue his kidnapped brother and uncover the truth under the guidance of a secretive hacker ally in a high-stakes world. Engage in fast-paced, tactical combat using an arsenal of state-of-the-art gadgets and abilities, from energy shields and reflex boosters to hacking enemies and manipulating the battlefield, as every encounter demands skill and timing. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.49, Other Side is a tactical RPG where you command the Daughters, echoes of the greatest warrior and humanity's last hope against relentless nightmarish manifestations of suffering. You'll carefully and strategically plan battles around the dynamic timeline system, sacrificing one daughter to permanently empower another for future runs, and face grotesque bosses born from humanity's worst crimes in stark black and white arenas. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $1.49, The Last Campfire is a charming puzzle adventure following a lost ember on an emotional journey through a mysterious and magical world in search of meaning and a way home. As you explore the lands beyond the dark forest, you'll solve clever and inventive environmental puzzles, help lost souls rekindle their fragile hope, and uncover a deeply touching story about perseverance, purpose, and the resilience of the spirit. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Tormented Souls is a survival horror adventure that channels the spirit of classics like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, following Carolyn Walker as she investigates the mysterious disappearance of twin girls in a decrepit, decaying mansion filled with nightmarish secrets. You'll explore the eerie halls of Winterlake, solving fiendish puzzles, scavenging scarce resources, and surviving grotesque creatures that stalk every shadowed corridor. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3.89, Detention is a 2D atmospheric horror side-scroller that plunges you into a haunted high school in 1960s Taiwan under strict martial law, where two students must survive against malevolent forces. Navigate eerie classrooms and shadow-filled corridors while solving challenging puzzles, carefully avoiding deadly creatures, and uncovering ominous objects that reveal the dark secrets lurking within the campus. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $2.49, Minute is an adventure played in 60-second increments, where you explore the world outside your home to help unusual folk and defeat dangerous foes, all while racing against a curse that ends each day after just 1 minute. Every choice matters as you traverse forests, villages, and mysterious ruins, solving clever puzzles, discovering hidden items, and unlocking shortcuts that make each run feel fresh and rewarding. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Monster Sanctuary is a Metroidvania adventure where you explore an interconnected world while capturing, training, and battling a diverse roster of 111 unique and powerful monsters with distinct abilities and traits. You'll use their abilities to solve environmental puzzles, traverse tricky platforming sections, and engage in strategic turn-based combat where team composition, attack order, and synergies determine victory. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $3.24, Cat Quest is an open-world RPG set in the whimsical world of Felongard, where you play a heroic cat on a quest to rescue your catnapped sister from sinister forces threatening the kingdom. You'll explore a vast overworld filled with colorful characters, engaging stories, and challenging dungeons while battling enemies, completing side quests, and leveling up your feline hero with new abilities, equipment, and magical powers. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Ikaruga is a high-speed, skill-based shoot-'em-up where players manipulate white and black polarity to survive relentless enemy fire, master timing, and experience intense, fast-paced action across beautifully designed stages. You'll switch polarity to absorb bullets of the same color, chain attacks by defeating enemies in succession, dodge complex bullet patterns, and strategically plan each move to survive increasingly difficult waves. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $3.74, Vampire Survivors is an addictive roguelite where you mow down endless hordes of night creatures, auto-attacking as you focus on movement, positioning, and smart upgrade choices to survive until dawn. Each run lets you snowball through clever weapon synergies and permanent meta upgrades, transforming chaotic bullet hell swarms into hypnotic power fantasies packed with unlocks and absurd screen-filling destruction. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Payday 2 is a 4-player co-op shooter where you plan and execute daring heists, rob banks, and rise through the criminal underworld with your crew, experiencing the thrill of coordinated chaos and high-stakes action. You'll tackle increasingly complex and dynamic jobs and earn money to customize characters, unlock powerful skill sets, and equip an arsenal of weapons, gadgets, and gear to perfectly suit your preferred playstyle. It's a 75 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $3.74, Ghost of a Tale is a stealth-driven adventure where you play as Tilo, a courageous minstrel mouse trying to escape the dungeons of Dwindling Heights Keep and find his lost love, Mera. Set in a medieval world ruled by rats and filled with crumbling ruins, twisting corridors, and lush outdoor areas, the game blends exploration and immersive storytelling with a painterly art style and meticulous attention to atmosphere. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $1.69, Rogue Legacy is a roguelite platformer where you storm a procedurally generated castle, die constantly, and pass the adventure down through a family lineage that grows stronger with every run. Each heir comes with unique traits that change how the game feels, while 10 distinct classes with different abilities force you to adapt your playstyle as you fight through enemy types, master tight combat, and handle platforming challenges. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $3.74, Jazz Punk Director's Cut is a wildly surreal first-person comedy adventure set in an alternate Cold War reality filled with corporate espionage, ridiculous spy agencies, and non-stop absurdist humor. Explore bizarre open environments at your own pace using strange spy gadgets, complete wildly offbeat missions for secret agencies, and uncover cleverly hidden jokes scattered throughout its vibrant, cartoon-inspired world. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3.59, Moonlighter Complete Edition is a charming action RPG with roguelite elements, where you play as Will, a humble shopkeeper in Renoka who dreams of becoming a legendary hero. Delve into mysterious gates that lead to dangerous dimensions, battle dungeon bosses with varied weapons and armor, and expand your shop with loot from the Between Dimensions expansion's new interdimensional dungeon and added gear. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Afterimage is a hand-drawn 2D action-adventure set in the haunting ruins of a shattered fantasy world, where an amnesiac girl named Renee sets out to recover her lost memories and uncover the truth behind a cataclysm. You'll traverse the interconnected world of Ingarden, battling over 170 enemy types and 30 brutal bosses across painterly landscapes, while unlocking new abilities that expand your exploration and combat potential. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Laika Aged Through Blood is an action-adventure Metroidvania set in a post-apocalyptic western, where you play as Laika, a vengeful coyote mother riding a motorbike across a ruined world ruled by the tyrannical birds. The game's unique Motorvania design blends 2D vehicular combat with precise gunplay and ability upgrades, all while you carve through hand-painted environments packed with brutal encounters and platforming challenges. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4.49, 20XX is a fast-paced roguelite action platformer where you and a friend jump, shoot, and blast through procedurally generated levels to save humanity from overwhelming robotic threats. The game features tight, responsive controls, over 100 powerful upgrades, and a wide variety of play modes, optional difficulty modifiers, daily and weekly seeded challenges, and hidden secrets to keep each run fresh, intense, and unpredictable. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Paradise Killer is a murder mystery adventure set on an island outside reality, where a rogue civilization seeks to resurrect dead alien gods and wield unimaginable cosmic power. You play as investigator Lady Love Dies, solving the murder of the Council before the island's rebirth, while exploring a bizarre, cryptic world, collecting evidence, interrogating suspects, and piecing together conflicting testimonies to build your own case. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.24, Blazing Chrome is a run-and-gun shooter where humanity teeters on extinction under the rule of merciless machines in a bleak, war-torn future overrun by relentless robotic armies worldwide. You'll blast through 5 apocalyptic stages packed with enemies, deadly traps, and massive mechanical bosses, using hoverbikes, power armor, and a wide arsenal of explosive weapons to turn robots into scrap metal in heart-pounding fashion. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition is a cinematic fighting game from NetherRealm Studios, where DC heroes and villains clash in a dark, alternate timeline. Battle across interactive arenas using character-specific powers, unleash cinematic super moves with icons like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and dive into extra content including 6 DLC fighters, 60 Star Labs missions, and over 30 alternate skins. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Shadow Man Remastered revives the cult classic horror action-adventure with updated visuals, restored content, and expanded gameplay across live side and dead side. Hunt criminals with guns or voodoo powers, solve intricate puzzles, and explore iconic locations like Summer Camp, Salvage Yard, and Asylum Station 2, all while enjoying over 40 cinematic cutscenes, hours of voice acting, and a dark, immersive narrative. It's a 75 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Gauntlet Slayer Edition is a dungeon-crawling action RPG that pits you and your friends against endless hordes of monstrous foes across a wide variety of perilous, treasure-filled, and intricately designed dungeons full of surprises. Choose from multiple heroes, each with unique weapons, abilities, and customization options, as you battle through traps, puzzles, and waves of enemies in fast-paced, cooperative combat. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour is a classic action shooter where you blast aliens, save Earth, and deliver iconic one-liners in over-the-top, chaotic style, revisiting all the humor and carnage that made the original legendary. Play all new Episode 5 with bonus content, re-recorded dialogue from John St. John, and a fresh score from original composer Lee Jackson, all fully remastered with updated visuals. It's an 87 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Cris Tales is a beautifully hand-drawn indie JRPG that lets you see the past, present, and future simultaneously as you guide Cris Bell on a sweeping, time-bending adventure. Manipulate time in strategic turn-based battles to age enemies or restore allies instantly, explore vibrant kingdoms inspired by Latin American culture and folklore, and make impactful story choices that visibly reshape towns and characters in real time. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $4.49, Death Road to Canada is a chaotic roguelike zombie adventure where you guide a party of survivors through a randomized, post-apocalyptic world filled with over-the-top encounters, deadly hordes, and unpredictable story events. You'll fight or evade up to 500 zombies at a time, make difficult choices in interactive sequences, and discover rare weapons and characters with unique abilities as you scramble towards safety. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $4.49, Windjammers is a head-to-head arcade sports game where two players throw discs to score in the opponent's goal while using agile moves, powerful throws, and clever trick shots for maximum points, combos, and style. Featuring 5 game modes, Arcade, Infinite, Local Versus, Online Quick Match, and Ranked Match, players can compete solo or challenge others worldwide in ranked leagues for ultimate bragging rights. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Eldest Souls is a brutal, boss-focused Souls-like, where you wield a massive obsidian greatsword to challenge imprisoned old gods within a decaying citadel, steeped in bleak atmosphere, haunting lore, and relentless, tension-filled encounters. Combat is fast, punishing, and precision-driven, rewarding bold play with powerful abilities, while each handcrafted boss demands mastery of patterns, positioning, timing, and adaptive strategy. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $1.49, SteamWorld Heist puts you in command of a steam-driven pirate crew, leading epic tactical shootouts across enemy spaceships. Unlike traditional turn-based strategy, you manually aim each shot, allowing insane skill shots, ricochets, and bullet-bouncing action, while upgrading your recruits with unique weapons, abilities, and even stylish hats as you explore procedurally generated levels brimming with loot and danger. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Invisible Inc. is a tactical espionage game where you command elite agents to infiltrate the world's most dangerous corporations, relying on stealth, precision, and teamwork to survive high-stakes missions. Start with any of the 10 unlockable agents and 10 programs to crack corporate security while navigating tense, procedurally generated worlds where locations, threats, security systems, and loot change every playthrough. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $3.74, Octodad, Dadliest Catch is a chaotic adventure about destruction, deception, and fatherhood where you control Octodad, an octopus masquerading as a human, struggling to perform everyday tasks with unwieldy tentacles. In this sequel, Octodad finds himself caught between his wife's growing mistrust and a disastrous trip to the local aquarium, navigating physics-based challenges and laugh-out-loud comedy. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4.99, Blaster Master 02 is a side-scrolling and top-down hybrid action adventure where Jason and Eve leave Earth behind to confront a cosmic threat and save Eve from a corrupting parasite. You'll pilot the upgraded Gaia Sophia battle tank across diverse alien planets, strategically generating SP from impacts and terrain, while unleashing the new blast counter to turn enemy attacks into devastating opportunities. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4.99, For the King is a challenging strategy RPG that blends turn-based combat and roguelike elements as you set out to save the chaotic kingdom of Farul after the king's mysterious and brutal murder. Travel across procedurally generated maps with a party of courageous heroes, tackle unpredictable quests and dangerous events, and coordinate abilities in single-player, local co-op, or online multiplayer to stem the spreading chaos. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Resident Evil Director's Cut is a survival horror adventure where you uncover the secrets of a remote mansion after the STARS team is trapped during a grisly murder investigation in the Arklay Mountains. You'll explore claustrophobic corridors filled with undead creatures, manage scarce resources with careful strategy, and solve environmental puzzles that slowly reveal the mansion's twisted experiments. It's an 86 on Game Rankings, and there's unfortunately no trophy support yet. Hopefully it gets added soon. For $2.99, Alba, a wildlife adventure, is a feel-good game where you join Alba on a summer visit to her grandparents' Mediterranean island, ready to explore wildlife, collect resources, and protect the environment. Together with her friend Enos and her bird-loving grandfather, you clean up litter, rescue animals in danger, and rally townsfolk to save the island, all while enjoying handcrafted visuals and relaxing music. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4.99, Resident Evil 2 is the original PlayStation survival horror classic, now enhanced with up-rendering, rewind, quick save, and customizable video filters to modernize the fear-filled, nostalgia-packed experience. Follow rookie cop Leon S. Kennedy on his first day in Raccoon City and Claire Redfield on her search for a missing brother as the two navigate zombie-infested streets and unravel Umbrella's sinister secrets. It's a 93 on Game Rankings, and unfortunately there's no trophy support for this yet. Hopefully we get it soon. For $3.49, Brotato is a frantic top-down arena shooter roguelite where you play a potato armed with up to 6 weapons at once, battling relentless waves of aliens while awaiting rescue. You'll customize your runs with dozens of characters, hundreds of items and weapons, from flamethrowers and SMGs to rocket launchers and even sticks and stones, and craft overpowered unique builds by selecting traits and upgrades that suit your playstyle. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis sends you back to a collapsing Raccoon City as Jill Valentine fights to escape, while the unstoppable Nemesis hunts her across the chaos. This enhanced version adds rewind, quick save, up-rendering, and customizable visual filters, making this survival horror classic smoother to play while still capturing its frantic escapes, branching scenarios, and tense item management. It's an 88 on Game Rankings, and there's unfortunately no trophy support for this yet. Hopefully it gets added soon. For $4.99, Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore, is a beautifully hand-painted, sprite-driven action adventure where you play as Princess Arzette, the kingdom's last hope against the returning evil Dimer. Travel through breathtaking animated storybook locations, uncover cleverly hidden secrets, converse with quirky locals to unravel intricate mysteries, and face villainous foes while acquiring powerful items and abilities that shape your journey. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2.99, A Tale of Paper Refolded is a puzzle platformer bundle that includes the original game and its Unfolded Melody DLC, following a delicate paper figure brought to life by its creator's dream. You'll master origami transformations to navigate a world where everyday objects become towering obstacles, solving light puzzles, completing platforming challenges, and avoiding environmental hazards that threaten your fragile form. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4.99, the Lord of the Rings Adventure Card Game Definitive Edition is a tactical deck-building adventure where you assemble iconic heroes to battle Sauron's growing shadow across Middle-earth. Build synergized hero decks for story-driven campaigns like The Shadow's Fall and The Witch King's Grasp, tackle randomized challenges in the Mirror of Galadriel mode, and confront deadly enemies while managing the ever-watchful Eye of Sauron. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 500 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Arise, a Simple Story Definitive Edition is a puzzle platformer that lets you navigate the poignant memories of two intertwined lives, bending time to shape the journey through love, loss, and nostalgia. You'll manipulate seconds, minutes, and even entire seasons to solve intricate environmental puzzles, and gracefully traverse stunning, handcrafted, dreamlike landscapes that reflect the emotional highs and lows of the story. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Genetic Disaster is a chaotic top-down roguelite shooter where you pick a mutant hero and fight your way out of a mad scientist's deadly mansion alone or with friends. Battle through unpredictable, procedurally generated rooms using experimental weapons and stackable genetic mutations, team up in 4-player co-op to create powerful builds, or settle grudges in the over-the-top PvP Stool Wars arena. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 85 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $1.99, This War of Mine, The Little Ones, is a gritty survival experience that follows a group of civilians, including children, struggling to endure life in a war-torn city. Manage scarce resources and craft essential supplies like beds and stoves, make devastating life-or-death decisions under constant threat, and protect vulnerable young survivors whose needs and perspectives dramatically reshape how you approach each desperate day. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Deep Sky Derelicts Definitive Edition is a sci-fi tactical RPG set in a grim dystopian future where you scavenge alien derelicts in search of citizenship and a better life. Engage in strategic, card-based, turn-based combat aboard dangerous, procedurally generated wrecks, customize your scavenger team with deep gear and skill options, and explore expanded new content from the new Prospect and Station Life DLC expansions. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $4.54, Pac Man Championship Edition 2 is a fast-paced arcade maze game that reinvents the classic formula with eye-popping 3D visuals and intense high-score action. Chain together massive ghost trains for maximum point bursts, dash through neon-lit mazes with strategic bumper mechanics and power pellets, and tackle score attack and adventure mode featuring challenging boss battles, fast-fleeing fruit, and remixed rules. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $3.29, Aven Colony Deluxe Edition is a sci-fi city building and management sim where you establish humanity's first extrasolar settlement on a distant alien world. Build sprawling, interconnected colonies across deserts, tundras, and jungles, manage vital resources, care for citizen well-being, and overcome harsh environmental hazards while expanding your settlements into thriving, futuristic, and fully functioning cities. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $3.49, Blaster Master Zero is a retro-inspired side-scrolling and top-down action adventure that reimagines the 1988 classic with brand new areas, challenging bosses, and expanded story content. Pilot the battle tank Sophia 3 through sprawling side-view stages, explore tight top-down mutant-filled dungeons as Jason, and unlock sub-weapons and upgrades that open new paths and enhance both characters' abilities. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $2.99, Gunborg Dark Matters is an arcade action platformer set aboard a hostile alien spaceship, throwing you into combat arenas where a razor-sharp blade, a shield, and constant momentum are your best tools for survival. You'll slash through enemies, deflect bullets, and steal enemy weapons as you navigate platforming challenges and face off against tough boss battles driven by skill, timing, and quick reactions. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $1.99, A Whole New World is a retro-inspired action platformer where you play as the Potion Master, tasked with defending the city from monstrous invaders from the Upside Down world. Jump, shoot, and cast powerful elemental potions with the help of your loyal companion fairy, Faye, battle hordes of enemies across both worlds, and defeat gigantic bosses to acquire their unique and devastating powers for increasingly challenging levels. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $1.99, Mulaka is a vibrant 3D action-adventure game that immerses you in northern Mexico's breathtaking landscapes, rich Tarahumara culture, and fascinating indigenous myths and traditions. Play as a skilled Sukarame shaman, harness the ancient powers of demigods, solve intricate environmental puzzles, and engage in intense hand-to-hand combat with terrifying mythological creatures inspired by the Sierra Tarahumara. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $1.99, Swordship is a high-octane, futuristic dodge-em-up roguelike where you pilot a nimble ship through waves of enemies, turning their attacks against them with split-second maneuvers. Navigate randomly generated underwater levels, master shifting dynamic weather conditions, and experiment with power-up components while balancing risk and reward to maximize your score and survival. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $4.79, Myst is a classic point-and-click adventure that transports you to the enigmatic island of Myst, where ancient betrayal, hidden secrets, and mysterious puzzles await discovery. You'll explore surreal landscapes, solve intricate puzzles, and uncover secret books that lead to breathtaking worlds created by a master storyteller, all while piecing together the mystery behind the treacherous actions of his sons and the fate of the island itself. It's an 82 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is a flashy 2D crossover fighting game that unites characters from Blaze Blue, Persona 4 Arena, Under Night In-Birth, and Ruby in explosive 2v2 battles. Pick your dream tag team and dive into fast-paced matches featuring active switch mechanics, stylish auto combos, and sharp Arc System Works sprite work that keeps every round chaotic, strategic, and highly competitive both online and offline. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Nexomon Extinction is a classic-inspired monster-catching RPG where you join the Tamers Guild to stop powerful tyrant Nexomon from driving the world to ruin. Capture and train over 300 Nexomon across diverse regions, battle roaming tyrants and rival tamers in animated turn-based combat, and navigate a dynamic difficulty system that scales as you progress through the story with evolving teams and tougher encounters. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Tools Up is a fast-paced couch co-op party game where you and up to 3 friends tackle zany, increasingly ridiculous home renovation projects together. Race against the clock as you paint walls, tear off wallpaper, follow blueprints, and navigate hazards like spilled paint, molten lava, falling furniture, moving obstacles, or tricky environmental challenges, all while coordinating or deliberately sabotaging your crew's efforts. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.49, Shady Part of Me is an emotional puzzle platformer where you navigate surreal dreamscapes as the little girl in her shadow, blending 2D and 3D gameplay with introspective storytelling. Work together to overcome emotional struggles, manipulate light and shadows, and use time rewinding abilities to solve contemplative puzzles, while exploring unique watercolor-inspired environments filled with twists, surprises, and poetic charm. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $1.49, Bridge Constructor Portal is a physics-based puzzle game that combines the mind-bending mechanics of Portal with the engineering challenges of Bridge Constructor. Build bridges, ramps, slides, and more across 60 test chambers to safely guide the bendies in their vehicles, using portals, propulsion and repulsion gels, aerial faith plates, cubes, and other gadgets to bypass turrets, lasers, acid pools, and tricky switch puzzles. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Curse of the Dead Gods is a brutal, skill-based action roguelike where you descend into a cursed temple in search of riches, power, and immortality. Fight through trap-filled corridors and deadly arenas, wield swords, spears, and firearms against relentless enemies and towering bosses, and manage a corruption system where powerful curses can either strengthen your build or suddenly twist your fate in devastating ways. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Crossing Souls is a retro-inspired action-adventure set in 1986 California, where a group of friends uncover a mysterious pink stone tied to a government conspiracy. Switch between 5 playable kids with unique combat styles, solve environmental puzzles across 2 intertwined realms, and battle supernatural threats in a pixel art world packed with 80s nostalgia, cinematic cutscenes, and references to classic sci-fi films. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Metro 2033 Redux is a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter set in the dangerous tunnels of the Moscow Metro, where survivors struggle against mutant horrors while trying to protect what remains of humanity. You'll navigate claustrophobic stations in desolate surface wastelands, scavenge scarce resources, and engage intense combat as Artyom on a desperate mission to warn the remnants of mankind of a looming threat. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Titan Souls is a minimalist boss rush action game where a lone hero armed with a single arrow hunts colossal guardians to reclaim the scattered Titan souls. Face towering titans in tense one-hit kill encounters, retrieve and reposition your lone arrow after every shot, and carefully study each arena to exploit tiny weaknesses, while dodging deadly attacks and solving environmental puzzles in brutal precision-based battles. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Snake Pass is a physics-based puzzle platformer where you play as Noodle the Snake and his hyperactive companion, Doodle the Hummingbird, on a mission to reunite the missing keystones with the magical gates that power Haven Tor. Players must think like a snake, slithering through grass, coiling around bamboo, and navigating puzzles using Noodle's unique movement abilities across 15 brain-bending, snake-charming levels. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Dark Devotion is a dark, atmospheric action RPG where you explore a fallen temple and test your Templar faith, venturing into deep, perilous darkness in search of answers and spiritual enlightenment. Face relentless enemies, devious bosses, and morally challenging choices, while wielding dozens of weapons, upgrading your skills, and discovering hidden secrets as you navigate 4 uniquely detailed, hauntingly immersive worlds. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $2.99, The Swapper is a narrative-driven puzzle game set in the furthest reaches of space, challenging your perception, logic, and understanding of self. Manipulate a mysterious cloning device to create copies of yourself, swapping your consciousness into new bodies to solve fiendishly clever puzzles, avoid deadly hazards, and explore the mysterious, eerie environment in hauntingly atmospheric detail. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3.99, Turok is a classic first-person shooter where time-traveling warrior Turok hunts deadly dinosaurs and cunning enemies across a vast, beautifully remastered 3D world filled with secrets and hazards. You'll run, jump, climb, and aim in any direction while solving puzzles, avoiding traps, and using a massive arsenal against prehistoric and futuristic foes in fully interactive, destructible environments. It's an 85 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For 224, Red Faction drops you into the chaos of a full-blown rebellion on Mars, where the Ultor Corporation's promise of prosperity is given way to brutality and desperation. As a miner pushed past the breaking point, you'll ignite an uprising that changed first-person shooters forever, using the revolutionary geomod technology to reshape the battlefield by blasting through walls, tunnels, and enemy strongholds across the planet's surface. It's an 88 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $4.99, The Escapist 2 is a sandbox prison simulator that challenges you to craft, steal, brawl, and escape from some of the toughest, most intricately designed prisons in the world. Customize your inmate, plan daring breakouts, and navigate multi-story facilities while balancing daily routines, guard schedules, and the ever-present risk of discovery, all while mastering creative tools and strategies to outsmart every obstacle. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Killer Frequency is a horror-comedy first-person puzzle game set in 1987, where you play a late-night radio DJ running the graveyard shift in a small town and must save callers from a mysterious killer. You'll solve puzzles, explore a fully interactive retro radio station, gather clues, and make real-time decisions through branching dialogues while interacting with eccentric townsfolk, all under the pressure that every call could mean life or death. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $1.99, Hotline Miami is a fast-paced, top-down action game set in a violent, surreal version of late 1980s Miami, drenched in neon, paranoia, and chaotic energy. You clear rooms using lethal gunplay, brutal melee combat, and environmental improvisation, while piecing together a fractured narrative delivered through cryptic phone messages, hidden clues, and unsettling imagery that gradually reveals the city's dark underbelly. It's an 86 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Absolver is an online multiplayer combat experience where players take on the mask of a prospect under the watchful eyes of the guides, the rulers of the fallen Adal Empire who judge your worthiness to join their elite corps of enforcers. Wander forsaken lands, encounter other players to learn new combat skills, and strategically expand your combat deck to create personalized attack flow and master advanced techniques. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For 99 cents, SteamWorld Dig is a platform mining adventure with strong Metroidvania influences, where you explore underground caverns and uncover hidden secrets while navigating a perilous world. Take on the role of Rusty, a lone mining steambot, as he arrives at an old mining town in great need, digging through the earth to gain riches, avoid traps, solve puzzles, and uncover the ancient threat lurking below. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3.59, Never Alone Arctic Collection is a culturally rich puzzle platformer that includes Never Alone and the Foxtails DLC, developed in collaboration with Alaska Native Inupiat elders and storytellers to authentically preserve and share their stories. With the Foxtails expansion adding 3 new levels, new environments, puzzles, and a fresh rescue mission, the collection deepens the story and expands exploration opportunities. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Phantom Doctrine is a strategic, turn-based espionage thriller set at the height of the Cold War, where you uncover a global conspiracy threatening world leaders. You'll lead the Cabal through covert operations, investigate classified intelligence, and interrogate captured agents to expose a shadowy network manipulating nations from behind the scenes, using stealth tactics and carefully planned squad-based encounters. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $3.74, Fogs is a puzzle platformer where you control a duo of dogs linked by a stretchy belly, solving inventive challenges across themed worlds while bouncing between single-player and co-op gameplay. Explore Food World with rivers of chocolate and tasty treats, stroll through the cozy Sleep World filled with teddy bears and quilts, and romp through the whimsical Play World with beaches, arcades, and toy-filled landscapes. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Metro Last Light Redux is a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter set in the tunnels beneath ruined Moscow, where humanity clings to survival in 2034. You'll step into the boots of Artyom, navigate the haunted Metro tunnels, battle mutants and hostile factions, and make morally driven choices that shape the fate of the last surviving station cities in a grim, atmospheric survival experience filled with tension and scarce resources. It's an 82 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For 224, Red Faction 2 is a futuristic first-person shooter set on 22nd century Earth, where a squad of nanotech-enhanced soldiers rises against a corrupt dictator. You'll play as Elias, utilize powerful explosives, command a specialized squad, and battle through urban war zones, fortified military strongholds, and treacherous environments using vehicles and heavy weaponry to topple Chancellor Sopot's oppressive regime. It's an 84 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For 389, Jump King is a punishing platformer where you leap your way upward in search of the legendary smoking hot babe at the top. Master precise jumps, recover from punishing falls, and learn from every mistake as you traverse tricky platforms, vertical obstacles, and perilous gaps in your climb to glory, facing escalating challenges, hidden shortcuts, and clever level designs that test patience, timing, and skill at every turn. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $4.99, Astabreed is a high-octane, fast-paced arcade shooter that fuses classic shoot-'em-up gameplay with stunning 3D visuals and Japanese mecha design. Take control of Roy Beckett's powerful mech, unleash precision homing attacks, slash enemies up close with a deadly blade, and navigate waves of swarming foes across vertical, horizontal, and 3D perspectives while experiencing non-stop cinematic action and intense boss battles. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $1.99, Seasons After Fall is a 2D puzzle platformer that lets you explore a magical world as a wild fox, using the power to change the seasons at will to manipulate the environment and solve intricate puzzles. Shift between winter, spring, summer, and autumn to unlock new paths, freeze waterfalls, raise water levels, or make plants grow, while navigating a gorgeous hand-painted 2D landscape filled with secrets and hidden lore. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, about 10 hours to platinum. For $3.99, The Bard's Tale Remastered and Resnarkled is a tongue-in-cheek RPG where you play a selfish rogue bard who summons allies through magical song in pursuit of coin, glory, and romance. Explore a vast world filled with towns, secret dungeons, and haunted tombs, battle over 50 enemy types including epic bosses, and collect more than 150 unique pieces of gear, all with outstanding voice acting and outrageous musical numbers. It's a 77 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4.99, 2064 Read-Only Memories is a narrative-driven cyberpunk adventure where you play a journalist navigating Neo-San Francisco alongside the world's first sapient machine, Turing. Investigate the city's hidden secrets, interact with a colorful cast of locals to shape branching story outcomes, and solve environmental puzzles while uncovering dangerous conspiracies tied to powerful tech corporations and underground hacker groups. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.99, El Hijo, a Wild West Tale, is a charming spaghetti western stealth adventure where you guide a young boy on a daring journey to reunite with his mother. Sneak past watchful guards and wild animals, solve environmental puzzles using clever tactical toys to create smart and creative distractions, and explore dark monasteries, scorching deserts, and lawless frontier towns as El Hijo slowly grows more cunning and confident. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $3.74, Agalos is an action RPG that combines the charm of 16-bit era visuals with the fluidity and depth of modern game design, delivering a nostalgic yet fresh adventure. Set in the peaceful kingdom of Lumen, you'll battle beings from another dimension threatening to overrun the land, while uncovering magical elements, solving hidden secrets, completing side quests, and discovering new challenges that expand the story and world. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $2.54, Scourgebringer is a fast-paced roguelite platformer that plunges you into a post-apocalyptic world filled with ancient machines, deadly foes, and hidden mysteries. Play as Kira, the deadliest warrior of her clan, as you slash through ancient machines, explore ever-changing dungeons, and confront colossal bosses while uncovering lost secrets, hidden relics, ancient technologies, and the devastating fate of humanity. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4.99, The Elder Scrolls Online bundles the base game with the Morrowind expansion, offering a living world filled with quests, dungeons, and endless adventures for solo and multiplayer exploration. Explore Tamriel's vast lands, battle fearsome Daedric forces, and engage in PvP with other players, while uncovering rich stories, completing challenging quests, and mastering crafting, combat, and exploration across diverse regions and biomes. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 600 hours to platinum. For $149, Dear Esther Landmark Edition is a first-person experience set on a remote, desolate island where a lost man unravels memories of a fatal crash through fragments of a mysterious letter. Abandoning traditional gameplay, it blends breathtaking environments with a haunting soundtrack, subtle environmental storytelling, and atmospheric sound design to tell a poignant story of love, loss, and redemption. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3.99, Battle Chef Brigade Deluxe is a beautifully animated action RPG and puzzle hybrid set in Victusia, where aspiring chefs Mina and Thrash compete in a high-stakes culinary tournament. Hunt monsters with flashy combo-based combat to gather fresh ingredients, then cook them in fast-paced Match 3-style kitchen battles with strategic ingredient combos, and impress demanding judges before the clock runs out. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $2.99, Everspace is an action-focused single-player space shooter that blends roguelike mechanics with stunning visuals, immersive sound design, and a gripping non-linear story. Pilot your ship through an ever-changing universe, facing unpredictable hazards, collecting powerful upgrades, and encountering a variety of unique characters, each revealing pieces of a larger narrative puzzle filled with lore and challenging dilemmas. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $3.99, Arietta of Spirits is a charming and heartwarming adventure game that blends emotion-filled narrative, engaging exploration, and fast-paced combat into a beautifully crafted experience. Explore a mysterious island full of lush forests, murky caverns, and hidden secrets, battle spirits in dynamic, reaction-based combat, and meet fascinating characters while uncovering the family's past, hidden mysteries, and the island's deep lore. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2.99, Elysia is a cinematic adventure game that follows a shipwrecked man trapped in the mysterious land of Terraphage, combining swashbuckling exploration and a captivating narrative. Navigate handcrafted environments filled with puzzles and platforming challenges, wield the legendary harpoon to strike and traverse the world, and rescue castaways while uncovering the mysteries of Terraphage. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $2.99, Silt is an underwater puzzle adventure that immerses you in a dark, mysterious, and beautifully illustrated abyss filled with danger, mystery, and discovery. Explore eerie underwater ruins and bizarre, otherworldly creatures, possess and control strange sea life to solve intricate environmental puzzles, and survive encounters with massive deep-sea Goliaths while uncovering ancient, long-dormant forces hidden at the ocean's depths. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $2.49, Skitbold is a groovy 70s-themed single and local multiplayer dodgeball game that combines chaotic arenas, quirky random events, and intense, fast-paced, hilarious action. Follow the adventures of world-famous Skitbold athletes Bjorn and Jerome as you team up in co-op battles, charge headfirst into manic free-for-alls with up to 5 opponents, and master skillful throws, strategic dodges, and unpredictable power-ups. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sales stuff that I put out. Leave a like and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.